Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath and again joined by Mark Olmos. Mark, second race day at Belmont, first midweek, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, good even card, Adam. Interesting to see how the day pans out.
It's going to be very interesting, as you mentioned. Let's take a look now at the conditions on screen. The Mooble Rail is out 12 metres. Some westerly breezes expected as well. Perfect day for racing. Really looking forward to it. Let's get into race number one, the Sweps Plate over the 1,000 metres for the 2-year-olds. I think there's a few nice types in this field.
Absolutely, Adam. There's a few runners that are by 8 first starters, in fact, actually, but we'll go straight into the replay horse, which is number 9, Cosmic Ballet, who trialled superbly well last time out.
The inside is Special Whisper as they head down the straight, or Slick Whisper at least. Down the outside is Flirtalicious, and right off the track and starting to wind up on the better going is Bolshevik as they head down the straight. Cosmic Ballet's underneath them. Heading towards the line, Fiona Tastic's in front. Cosmic Ballet all over the top of Fiona Tastic, goes to the front and does want to run past and
really good performance there by Cosmic Ballet, as you said, attacked the line strongly. Good breeding too, Star Bay, same mare there, so some really nice breeding as you mentioned. Barrier 7, David Harrison, Ray Forrest. I really liked the trial, thought it had a little bit up its sleeve, could definitely be one of these horses that wins this race.
Especially opening up at about $9, Adam. It looks at really reasonable price. We've also got in the race from the Sean Casey yard, Verve de Vega, another one of these Lope de Vegas, which seem to be popping up everywhere, and that has recently trialled very nicely as well.
Love the breeding here as well. If you take a look at some of the races, Union City's won 72,000, California Dudes won 69,000, and Detections won 300,000. Then you got Fermet as well, which is one I think it was 30 or 40,000 as well. So everything this mare throws ends up being a really nice runner. I like the trials that we saw. Only had the 400 metre going into this, which is a small concern for mine. But what we saw of the 1,000 back on the 29th of Feb, I thought was enough to show that this horse could definitely run a race in this.
Speaking of well-bred commodities, Adam, number 8, Malfi Lass, is out of Lysiranus, who won, I think it was 2 Group 2s and a Group 3 over in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Looks to be a really classy type, this filly, and has trialled really well.
Yeah, and makes her related to Culverin as well, which I know is one of your favourite fillies. The small one, but plenty of heart as well. I really like Amalfi Lass. I thought the trial was brilliant. William Pike had numerous options in this race, and he's elected to go with this filly by War Chant as well. The barrier's not ideal, barrier 10 there, but with the 55 kilos, I think she's the one to beat. I've got her on top, number 8, Amalfi Lass. From number 6, Verve de Vega, 11 in Paradini, and 9, Cosmic Ballet.
I've got the 7 on top, Adam. Speedy Ladidi. From 8, Amalfi Lass, 9, Cosmic Ballet, and 2, Beauhaven.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It's Perth. Race number 4 for our Singapore viewers, also over the 1,000 metres. And I'm looking forward to seeing a few of these go head-to-head because there's some pretty strong form lines around a couple of them.
One in particular, Adam, the 7, Allura May, ran really well about a fortnight ago at Ascot behind Juendis, and we'll have a look at that run of Allura May running second.
Behind them, Juendis ridden along into the bend. Further back behind them, Tomahawk, Calamari, Safari broke clear at the 200 metre mark, led 2 lengths. Allura May, here's Juendis coming down the outside with it as well. Juendis and Allura May beat off Calamari, Safari, and then Tomahawk, but Juendis is going to prevail and ridden to the line with vigour. Juendis beat it.
Really strong performance by this filly. In the end, it was probably just the barrier that wasn't ideal, or drawing 8 and having to do a little bit of work coming around the bend there. But barrier 6, drawn perfectly, 55 kilos. The form lines around Juendis are certainly going to hold up, and was actually scratched from an event on the weekend for this race as well. So I think they found the ideal run here. Justine Erkelin's in really good form, had a double on the weekend as well. So I really like Allura May. I think it's the one to beat.
Another nicely well-bred one from the Fred Kersley yard. Jester Jingle was out of Jestertune, who won WA Magic Millions and a Gimcrack Stakes. And look, was led last start, but for some reason just rolled back into the worst part of the track and just got overrun in the end, but looked to be travelling on the corner at that stage.
At the top of the straight, just looked the winner. It was as simple as that. Interesting the way that they've gone with this filly by Lonhro. Race over the 1,600 metres, drops to the 12, then drops to the 1,000 metres. But the speed that she showed early in that race, for mine, she can lead this race comfortably. William Pike takes a ride, and as you mentioned, probably just didn't help themselves last start going back to that inside the track. So I think Jester Jingle was the biggest danger in this race and certainly has a lot of upside.
As you said about it leading, I had a question mark over a leading, but as you mentioned, over the 1,200, I think it was, she led quite comfortably and looked to have a real strong kick at the end of it. She'll be right up there and pushing on forward. We've also got number 4, Mythical Saga, out of the David Harrison yard, one of the many of David Harrison's runners for today, which stands a really good chance.
Yeah, he's got plenty, doesn't he? And as you said, this I think is a really nice chance. This 3-year-old girl gelding, drawn perfectly in barrier 5 with the 57 kilos. I don't mind the Sovereign Hall form lines as well. Sovereign Hall have been racing really well. This horse, of course, raced down the straight at Pinjarra Park, and I think it'll hold up in a field like this. And just looking at the speed map, should get the ideal run throughout the race. And David Harrison's stable certainly in form as well. So it's in my top 4. I'm going to be tipping number 7, Allura May, from 8, Jester Jingle, 4, Mythical Saga, and 2, Inherit the Magic.
8 on top for me, Adam. Jester Jingle from 7, Allura May, 4, Mythical Saga, and 2, Inherit the Magic.
Race number 3, it's Perth. Race number 6 for our Singapore viewers over the 1,400 metres. Found this a really interesting race because there's a lot of gallopers that people have good opinions of, but they don't like to win too often.
Also, the form lines of those gallopers too, we're still questioning. 6 and 8, Mac and Major Detail come out of that Gloryland form. Not sure about that form, but we'll have a look at the replay of last start winner Pinzu, who won impressively at Ascot a fortnight ago.
Off Angels Force and then Young George. The filly, the run to one to run down though at the 250. Jester Jingle, roll back to the fence. Pinzu starts to close the margin as Harvey draws the whip. Jester Jingle, the leader, a half, 3/4. Pinzu grabbing it. Here comes Rot the Toff, Mega Factory. Pinzu hit the front. Rot the Toff lunging at it on the outside. Didn't get there.
Yeah, well, Pinzu's one of these horses that I was talking about where you're just not sure. I mean, career stats, 6 starts, 2 victories and 4 placings. So he's never finished outside the top 3, but has been beaten favourite numerous times. This last win was very impressive, winning by a long neck on that occasion. Stepping up to the 1,400 metres ideal. I'm just wary because Adam Durant said he didn't feel like this gallop had too many more runs this campaign. They wanted to give a spell and then come back again later on. So there's a little question mark there for me, but drawn perfectly in barrier 3, the 57 kilos. I think it's got the most potential in the race, but geez, it's hurt punters before.
I think it'll get a lovely smother in the run, but as you mentioned, Adam, $2, $1.85, not winning. You don't like to follow horses like that. But we've also got, in the market, we've got Bollywood Blitz from the Sean Casey yard. Again, Jake Casey riding, and 2 starts ago was quite good at Pinjarra behind So Who's Harry.
Yeah, well, So Who's Harry came out and won at Belmont Park on Saturday, the final race of the day, in impressive fashion too. So those form lines hold up. I know this horse has only had the 10 career starts, but anytime it comes to town, it struggles. And that's a big query of mine. The victories have been at Pinjarra Park and has raced well at those type of venues. The 10 starts, 2 victories in 3 seconds as well. So I really want to see Bollywood Blitz do it in a midweek race or a city race and perform. The 1,400 metres, 2 attempts at the distance unplayed. So I thought the 1,200 is probably ideal for this galloper, or the 1,300. So for mine, the jury's still out.
Now, we've also got number 8, Major Detail, in the Cerise and White. Now, this galloper probably isn't up to that echelon that we're used to seeing horses come out of the Grant Williams and Peter's stable, but look, he's a big loping strider, and I don't think he appreciated being inside horses last start at Pinjarra. He just looked like he wanted to get going. He just needs free galloping room.
Really inconsistent is Major Detail, this 3-year-old gelding. You go back 4 starts ago, the run at Pinjarra Park, attacked the line strongly down the middle, only lost to Grand Lorado by a short head on that occasion. I thought it was a really good performance, but then it's just the inconsistency. I mean, beaten 6.5 lengths by Heart Starter, that's fair enough. That's group form. Beaten 3 lengths by Flying Image, and then last start 5 lengths by Gloryland. That was a day it was hard to run down the leaders, but as you said, when you think of the Cerise and White, Major Detail probably doesn't just fit that mould, and I think you'll be getting, probably $8 to $12 when you're having a look at the markets as well, because it is that type of galloper with only the 8 career starts, 1 victory and 2 placing. It doesn't really jump off the page. Take a look at Selection Zone. I'm going with a galloper that hasn't proven itself at Belmont Park. Number 7, Dangerous Game, from 2, Pinzu, 1, Kapanda, and 4, Phantom Choice.
I like your thinking on Dangerous Game, Adam, but I'm going with the 2 on top, Pinzu, from 4, Phantom Choice, 7, Dangerous Game, and 8, Major Detail.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is Perth race number 8 for our Singapore viewers over the 1,300 metres, and a couple of these have just been going around for a little while now, knocking on the door. I speak of the Don't Let Tomo Go, these types that have not really doing anything wrong, but they're still not winning at the moment.
And as you mentioned, Adam, they're not the worst gallopers, these horses, but they find themselves here today. But we'll jump into the replay of Dance Master Dance winning last start at Bunbury, which was an impressive performance coming from back in the field.
For home over, Benny sticking on into the clear now. Carberry brings Musical Art, Talon Strike, then My Dirty Secret. Dance Master's coming right down the crown of the track on the outside of Widgekind. 150 to go. Wave Hill Spur. Dance Master for Marita down the outside with Musical Art. Dance Master at the outside hits the lead. There's one for Markey.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance on this occasion. The money came late for this galloper as well, and it was a really good ride by Maki Moriata on that day. Barrier 1, the 58 kilos here. I'm not willing to rule it out. And you go through even last campaign, the form lines, beaten 2 lengths by In This Life, beaten 10 lengths by Who Dat Singer. Again, that's that group form that we talk about, so I'm not too fazed by that. It was a really good first up performance. just feel it might be caught short in a field like this, where, as we said, even though a lot of it's not winning form, it's strong form.
Let's have a look at your on-top selection, Adam. Number 2, Sigil now. Was a nice trial, I thought. Looks like bad trial, but being 5th, but half a length off Scale of Justice in that trial. Looks to have gone all right.
Yeah, it was a really good performance on that occasion. Was doing the best work late as well. What I like with Sigil, again, you go through the form lines. Modern Touch is a nice galloper. Klondike Kenny is as well. And only beaten the 3.5 lengths by Rees Rocket, which of course went on a race in the Magic Moons as well. Sigil, if you go through last campaign, the only run that had any luck was the one that it won. So this horse just looked an absolute moral on a couple of the runs and couldn't get out. Barrier 12, not ideal, but with a 3 kilo claim, just the 55 kilos, I hope that they go back, and I think Sigil can run on. And I'm just expecting you to get some nice each-way value in a very open field.
And right down to the bottom of the page as well, I think I've found some value with number 12, First Trade, from the Alan Matthews yard, who is absolutely flying at the moment. Patrick Carberry rides for him, and he's riding on this occasion as well.
Yeah, a very nice galloper, this one as well. I really like this filly. I wanted to put her in my numbers and just couldn't find her. And the biggest thing, and the reason why I didn't, was just the bar plates going on the front. It was the only thing that just made me think maybe she's not 100% right. But by the trial, a big tick. And then you go through last campaign. Early Sun, we've seen come out and win this campaign. Yoshi Noxus, we know, is a good galloper too, so there's nothing wrong. And then Barrier 5 with the 54.5 kilos should get the ideal run. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see her win. She looks a very nice type, and one that I'll definitely be watching throughout this campaign. We'll take a look at the selection zone. I'm going to tip number 2, Sigil. From 3, Assurance. Number 8, Femme de Classe. And 11, Nobel Bird. As
I mentioned, I've got the 12 on top, Adam. First Trade. From 4, Don't Let Tomo Go. 5, Noble Savage. And 10, What Did You Do?